sort of smaller investors versus big hedge funds and billion-dollar trading platforms like Robinhood, which, remember, maybe for the little guy, but it's not the little guy. Robinhood has partnered with Citadel, one of the world's biggest hedge funds, and its founders themselves are indeed billionaires. And there is a lot of pain out there today. Robinhood and some of the other platforms have taken the incredible step of banning certain stocks from trading, effectively cutting people off from being able to sell their stocks. Of course, it has captivated the market's attention, but for most of you non-day traders, longer-term investors, your next guest says, don't worry. This, while interesting, should not impact the broader market. Joining us now is Jonathan Golub. He is Chief U.S. Equity Strategist at Credit Suisse. And, you know, Jonathan, we heard a lot yesterday that part of the market's decline may have simply been that part of, your team or your clients sat back and said, you know what, we can't trade on a day like today. This is dominating everything. Let's kind of sit back and watch how this plays out. Do you think that maybe not in the long term and in the short term, this is having a little effect on market sentiment overall?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is. First of all, let's start with the fact that in a month from now, we're not going to be talking about this anymore. This speculative frenzy around these names and these wild moves that you're talking about, this is not investing. This is not looking at the fundamentals of a business where you own a portion of that, which is what stocks really are about. And so this is going to go away. If you look though at the move today, which is a big day, and yesterday, down big, they kind of net against each other and end up being a relatively modest down move. We're less than 1% from the all-time highs, which we set earlier this week on Monday. So I think that there's a lot going on here. It's a lot of noise, and people are making and losing crazy amounts of money. But ultimately, this is going to be a small blip in what really is going on in the markets over a period of time.
Okay. And by the way, some of these names were halted. Now they're back trading as well. And so you're able to sell when they're paused. Of course, nobody can sell because that affects everybody. If you're a new viewer to CNBC or the markets, if a stock is halted, you can't do anything. But these are certain platforms taking action. I want to make that differentiation clear. But Jonathan, is this a knock at all on market structure, on overall market? I hear what you're saying. This story probably won't exist in 6 months. But for new investors, they look at this going, you know what? We're new to the market. Now you're going to shut down Robinhood, our platform, or they're going to shut down certain stocks. The game is rigged. Forget it. I was already skeptical of the stock market. Now I know. Forget it. I almost said something else. Forget it. There is a psychology aspect to this.
Yeah, I mean, first you have to look at this, and when we're getting, listen, the phone is ringing off the hook with our larger institutional clients who are saying like exactly the question you're asking. What is this thing about? And I think it really starts with the fact that interest rates are zero. And when interest rates are zero and the government appears to be implying that they're going to backstop the system, which they did by buying corporate debt early on, and the commissions to buy into these stocks has gone to nothing, what do we expect to happen? You expect people to take on more speculative behavior. And, and that's not a good thing. There's a cost to having a zero cost of capital and the government, pouring money into the economy and having it slosh around. And so, but the long-term story, though, is going to be the fact that earnings this season are coming in like 17% better than estimates. That's a real thing. And the fact that the economy is going to open up in a massive way in the middle of the year.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.